Hey there! Alright, we made it to video 4 this month. We're doing better in July than we did in June. Something. Our recipe, the ending out July, is a fresh tomato tart. Because it just seems like a good veggie recipe that you can make and just kind of take advantage of some summer vegetable. Alright, let's get to it. It's time for another episode of Cooking with Kaitlin. That's me. Enjoy! Alright, we're going to start by putting 1.5 cup of flour in our mixing bowl and then a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. We're making our tart dough, by the way. Alright, got that. Just going to lightly mix that together. Then we've got 4.5 ounces of cubed butter. So that's 1 whole stick and then like 1 tablespoon out of another stick of butter that's been nicely chilled. And we're just going to work that in with our hands so we get a nice kind of pastry dough feel to it. Be kind of cornmealy. This isn't the last of it, but this is our main bit getting there. So yeah, so just once again, I try to keep one hand clean to pause. Y'all will deal. Or maybe I'll remember to cut it. I wouldn't count on that. It's not really my strong suit, but maybe one of these days I just might. But I hope everyone's having a good summer. Kind of guess we're getting towards the sort of the end in terms of if you got like kids going into school or if you're one of my teacher people. This was always around that time where I was like, ugh, time to get ready for it. But now with this job, I'm working all the time anyway and I can take off whenever. So summer, really and truly, I mean, it goes till what, like August to Labor Day-ish? Is there like, when's fall officially? Like September something? I don't know. Where I live, it will feel like summer till about October. So, yeah. Maybe that's some of it. But then it will be nice and fall and Halloween time. Oh, and there's going to be a second Hocus Pocus coming on Disney Plus. We'll see. I know, it stands all the chance to not be worthy of the first. Sometimes that happens, especially because there's been so many years. But the premise of it from the ads gives me some level of hope. Alright. So we're just making sure we're getting all that butter nicely worked in. It's obviously still going to be pretty crumbly. It's supposed to be at this stage. But yeah. Okay, just making sure there's no big butter chunks that haven't been meshed and blended in with the flour and the salt. I want all that going well. Okay. That's good. And now that we've had that hocus pocus discussion, this is just going to stay in. Sorry. Let me grab our next thing. So, gonna create a well. We've got an egg and 2 tablespoons of chilled water blended already and put back in the fridge. We're just gonna stir until it's all nicely mixed and dough-like. and well blended. That's what we want. All right, now you're gonna get paused for a sec. All right, now we're gonna put our dough on a lightly floured surface. We're gonna work it till it's back to more dough-like texture, and then roll it with our rolling pin. And actually, we're gonna just roll it with the dough, or with the flour, and shape as needed till it's enough to cover our tart pan, and just picking up enough flour to not stick to either surface. So just a little reshaping here and there will be needed. With a lightly floured surface, remember you can always add more. Can't always take it away. It's not always a big deal if you can't, but just something to bear in mind. It has certainly taken me some practice to learn. And then once it's large enough to go over your tart, you will stop and get your tart pan, and we'll go there. It's not perfectly circular, so I'll probably be kind of readjusting as I go over my tart pan, and that's okay. All right, one sec. All right, now we're just gonna kind of push it. Mine kind of fell into a few pieces as I moved it because I needed to clean this surface at the same time to put this back down over here. So maybe yours will do like mine, or maybe you'll have better luck, because now I'm kind of like, I don't know why I rolled it out that much. But to each their own, it'll work out. But you're just pressing it in and up the sides as evenly as possible if you wind up in the same position as I did. If yours stayed in one piece as you moved it over, and you're just kind of lightly pressing it down and everything instead, good for you. I am certainly jealous. But this is my first time doing this. This is not as sturdy as the pie doughs I've made, but tart is different. So that's probably why. Alrighty. Getting there. Sorry, just getting one little spot, moving some dough towards it so that it's pretty evenly up. Kind of going all around doing that. Yep. All right. Just making sure no spots look too dewy or too bare, too thin, so that it'll cook evenly. Because everything else, if it's just kind of warming or browning or what have you, this is what has to actually cook. One sec. At this time, preheat your oven to 425. And then you're going to get some Dijon mustard and just kind of do that. And then all along. Just a little light layer of the mustard. Just get any little areas where we see it not on there. And then we're going to let this set to the side while we do everything else. We're not pre-baking it or anything. We're kind of letting it, in essence, dry just a little. All right, one sec. All right, you need about 2 to 3 nice ripe tomatoes. And we're just gonna, we've washed them and we're just gonna be slicing them to then layer just one single layer on our tart. So I'll check back when I'm done. All right, I've only cut up 2, but I feel like that's going to be enough, so we're going to layer them around. Yep. Then kind of slice these up just a little bit more to make them fit nicely. That worked well. Then I might just chop them up a little further to get into these kind of little nook and cranny areas, because why not get all my tomato that I can. That's my feeling anyway. You do you. I'm thinking get all the tomato in there. Alright, it's fairly solid and we'll use the rest for something else. Hang tight. Alright, I'm going to lightly drizzle some olive oil on top of this layer. Okay, and then whatever seasonings you want to do, I'm just going, finding fresh was almost impossible at our stores these days. I don't know exactly why. Supply chain fun stuff. So I'm just using Italian seasoning on it instead, because that'll go with the flavors pretty well. So yeah. All right, now one second. All right, and now we are just cutting about 16 ounces of goat cheese. That's herbed goat cheese that we're going to layer all over the top of the tomatoes. So I'll check back when we're done with that. All right, so we finished layering. Just gonna sprinkle just a little more. Since it's already got herbs in it, don't see the need to do too much, but just kind of enough to tie in the flavor. And then we're gonna drizzle, come down, some honey on the top of it. To let the, all right, and then the oven is nicely preheated to that 425. I'm going to pop this in for about 25 to 30 minutes. See you then. All right, right at the 30-minute mark, and doesn't it just look amazing? And it smells so good. Bon appetit. We'll see you later.